He yanked a 4-year-old girl out of her bed with the intent to harm her, and you wanted to give her a cap of 2 years. Is that not correct?
Well, because I would like to explain, sir.
It is correct, and the court rejected it.
Sir, I know
This was a judge that was appointed by Senator Warner. This is not a right-wing judge. This is a liberal judge. And you know why he rejected it?
Sir,
he saw what you should have seen. A disgusting, perverted individual preying on children, that you dismissed the case. That is as shameful as anything I have seen. Quit defending the indefensible. You clearly don't.
Absolutely
You dismissed the case, and it's shameful.
Sir,
you're a coward. You are a coward.
A 4-year-old girl was yanked out of her bed in the middle of the night by a man who broke into her home. The police caught him. The evidence was overwhelming. A life sentence was possible. But then the case landed on the desk of Fairfax County Prosecutor Stephen Descano, and everything fell apart. The charges were reduced. The plea deal was so lenient, a judge rejected it twice. And then Descano's office did the unthinkable. They dismissed the entire case. The predator walked free. On May 14th, Descano was called before the House Judiciary Subcommittee to answer for his sanctuary city policies. And Congressman Brad Knott, a former prosecutor and father of 2 young girls, had heard enough. What you are about to watch is one of the most explosive congressional exchanges of 2026.
Mr. Knott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Minner, I'm so sorry. This is clearly a preventable crime, despite what has been said. As the father of 2 daughters, I can't imagine what you're going through, what you will go through, and candidly, I would not be acting as civilly with some of the people you're seated with had I suffered what you've had to endure. So thank you for being here. Mr. Descano, you said that, quote, we prosecute Virginia cases. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And you painted a picture of being rigorous in your efforts to prosecute bad people, correct?
Yes, when we prosecute, of course, we take a look at every case.
Yep.
We are constrained by the evidence. We're constrained by the law. And I will tell you, Congressman, you know, I think what is happening here with the number of cases that we're talking about are that
I want to talk to you about one of those cases. I want to talk to you about one of those cases, sir. Mr. Hiram Rodriguez. Remember that case?
I do.
Leading up to the crime that I want to talk about, the defendant's criminal history included multiple charges and arrests for indecent liberties, exposing himself to a child less than 15 years of age, disorderly conduct, illegally entering a property to damage, burglary. He was even sentenced, albeit I would say too lightly, while he was on probation, while he was under court supervision. In June 15th, 2023 at 4 o'clock in the morning, Fairfax County PD responded to a burglary in process. A mother and her 4-year-old daughter were asleep in the same room but in separate beds. The mother was awoken when her 4-year-old daughter was screaming in the next room. She went to investigate. The attacker dropped the 4-year-old and fled the scene. It was clear that the 4-year-old had been abducted from her bed. Her buttocks had been grabbed. Her torso had been bruised. The victim displayed immediate bruising. The mother did not see the attacker's face, but the 4-year-old said he was a, quote, big man. Law enforcement identified Mr. Rodriguez by 2 ways. Forensics recovered a finger and palm print from the window that he jarred open in this case, and matched footprints outside the house where he was standing with a mud print inside the house. Eyewitness testimony later identified Rodriguez as having been loitering for days outside this apartment building. He had been seen using drugs in the neighborhood, and he had been pacing around this particular unit in the days leading up to the crime. Police secured 2 warrants. One, statutory burglary, specifically alleging that Rodriguez entered an occupied dwelling, seizing a 4-year-old with the intent to commit murder, rape, robbery, or arson. Maximum penalty is 20 years. Abduction of a 4-year-old with the intent to defile such a person was the second charge, with a maximum penalty of life. Once it was handed over to your office, inexplicably so, you immediately reduced the burglary offense to a misdemeanor, which capped the sentence at 12 months. You then reduced the abduction charge to an offense that was a lower degree and capped the sentence at 10 years. When you entered into a plea agreement, you tried to bind the court so they could not sentence this person to any term over 2 years. Is that not correct?
Sir, I'm so glad you brought this case
Is
up.
that not correct?
Well, because I would like to explain, sir.
It is correct. And the court rejected it.
Sir, I know the case file.
I'm talking. It was a judge that was appointed by Senator Warner. This is not a right-wing judge. This is a liberal judge. And you know why he rejected it?
Sir,
he saw what you should have seen. He cited overwhelming evidence.
Can we talk about the evidence,
This person was a threat.
I know it and you don't.
Quit talking.
And I would love to tell you about
this person was
it.
a threat. He yanked a 4-year-old girl out of her bed with the intent to harm her. And you wanted to give her a cap of 2 years.
Sir, this is
a great example. And then when the plea agreement was rejected, what did you do?
Sir, this is a great example.
What did you do?
This is a great example of a case.
You know, I've prosecuted cases.
And then you understand
and when you're evading like that, you know what that's a sign of? Guilt. What did you do?
Sir,
you dismissed the case.
Sir, can I please talk to you about this case if you want to know about it so much?
Be quiet. When you dismiss a case, what happens to that defendant?
He walks free.
Walks free. A disgusting, perverted individual preying on children that you dismissed the case. As the father of 2 young girls, one of them's 5. That is as shameful as anything I have seen.
Talk to me
Quit defending
that I don't
the
care
indefensible.
about people in my
you clearly
community.
don't.
Absolutely
You dismissed
not.
the case and it's shameful.
Sir,
you're a coward. You are a coward.
You won't even let me talk to you about the case.
It's indefensible, sir.
Sure.
I yield back.
Let's break down exactly what just happened, because the details of this case are jaw-dropping. The suspect is Hiram Bacadano Rodriguez, a Honduran national who had previously been caught and released by an immigration judge during the Biden administration. In June 2023, he broke into a home in Annandale, Virginia, pulled a sleeping 4-year-old girl out of her bed, and fled when the mother heard her daughter screaming. The child was found bruised. Fairfax County Police built a strong case. The charges included attempted murder, rape, robbery, crimes carrying up to 20 years, plus intent to defile a child, which carries a life sentence. This should have been a slam dunk. But once it landed in Descano's office, here's what happened. The burglary charge was immediately reduced to a misdemeanor, capping the sentence at 12 months. The abduction charge was downgraded, capping it at 10 years. Then Descano's office offered a plea deal, capping the total sentence at just 2 years. The judge, a liberal judge appointed by Democrat Senator Mark Warner, rejected that deal. Not once, twice, citing overwhelming evidence that this man was a clear and present danger to children. So what did Descano do after a judge rejected his sweetheart deal twice? He dismissed the entire case. The predator walked out of court a free man, until ICE eventually picked him up. That is what Knott was reacting to. And notice how Descano kept trying to interrupt and explain. Knott wasn't having it, because there is no explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing on a really important issue that I think a lot of Americans care very deeply about. Mr. Descano, I want to start with you. I've got a couple questions for you. I've got a document titled Guidelines for Plea Bargaining, Charging Decisions, and Sentencing. And it states that prosecutors shall consider the collateral immigration consequences of the specific crimes the defendant is charged with and the detrimental impact the deportation removal has on the families and communities who those removed will leave behind. This is a document, this is your official policy. This is not from your campaign website. This is the official policy document as well. Is that correct? Do you recognize this?
Yes, you read a portion of the policy, sir.
That's right. I'm not going to read the full thing.
I don't expect you, sir.
It's about 11 pages, so I'm not going to read the full thing. I want to better understand how you weigh an illegal alien's immigration status whenever you're making charging decisions. Do you know who Ander Jose Cortez Mendez is? Are you familiar with that case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a Guatemalan illegal alien who was arrested in March of 2024. He was initially charged with, quote, carnal knowledge of a 13 to 14-year-old. Just for those of us who aren't lawyers, can you describe just very briefly what does carnal knowledge of a 13 to 14-year-old mean in this context?
Well, sir, generally, a charge like that would typically refer to underage sex.
Okay, so he raped an underage person, an illegal alien who raped an underage American. Your office reduced those charges to a misdemeanor charge of consensual sex with a child 15 years and older. You offered him a 90-day suspended jail sentence. Is that correct?
Sir, based on the evidence that we had in the case.
So it is correct.
But it's not related to the policy, sir.
So that is correct. I just want to ask you, whenever you were making that charging decision to reduce the charge, how did you weigh the defendant's immigration status?
Well, sir, to be clear, I was not the lead prosecutor in that case.
It was your office.
Oh, absolutely, sir. I, of course, rely on my team of 50-some attorneys to do cases. But I think what is important is that oftentimes, as you know, sir, as a prosecutor, you know, we're constrained by the evidence. We're constrained.
I just need to know
how
did you take into account the defendant's immigration status?
Well, sir, again, I'm saying
making that decision. How did your office make that determination?
Well, what I would say is that, and thank you for clarifying. If you take a look at the immigration consequences policy, or what
Let me ask it a different way. Did your office reduce charges against this illegal alien from a felony rape charge to a misdemeanor charge with a 90-day suspended jail sentence, in part because this was an illegal alien in question?
No, this was evidentiary based.
It was evident. It had nothing to do with the defendant's immigration status.
So when
your testimony?
If you read the policy, you'll see that
did it have anything to do with
out
the defendant's immigration status? It's just yes or no.
Well, sir, it was based on the evidence.
I'm asking you, was their immigration status part of the evidence?
I don't believe so.
Yes
sir.
or no? You don't believe so. Your policy says that you shall consider their immigration
Actually,
status.
sir, if you actually read the whole policy, it explicitly carves out
Prosecutor
cases.
shall consider the collateral immigration consequences of the specific crimes the defendant is charged with and the detrimental impact that deportation removal has on the families.
It also mentions that
line
it's not outcome determinative. It also
I understand,
states,
and I'm asking you if your office weighed the defendant's immigration status in making your charging decisions here.
Oh, again, sir, I was not the lead prosecutor in this case.
I'm asking for your office. I understand you're not the lead prosecutor.
Exactly. I just want to be clear. But the way that the policy is written, that case should not have fallen under the rubric of this policy. This is a narrow policy and is meant to be a narrow policy.
An illegal alien, I think that would qualify, would it not?
Well, no, sir, because again, the way that the policy is being presented as it is outcome determinative.
There would be
case.
immigration consequences based on what charge you bring. That would clearly apply to this case.
No, sir. Again, that's the reason why I mentioned earlier. You read a portion, but not the entire 2 paragraphs of this subheading.
Prosecutors shall consider. I just want to know, just give me a yes or no answer. Did you take into account the defendant's immigration status?
Sir, again, I was not, but the way the policy,
did your office
the
take
way
it?
the
It's a yes
policy
or no
is written,
question.
no, they should not have taken.
They should not have.
That is not outcome determinative in a case like this, sir.
Great. Thank you. My time.